We do.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming. I'm just gonna update the view. You know what? It doesn't work when I'm talking. I can see it. Okay, whatever. Ignore me. Okay, whatever. Okay. So thank you guys, everybody, for coming today and for being on the meeting. I decided to only host these once a month because we're doing a lot of meetings already and we need to be out working. So in 2 weeks, when I host this again, it's going to be a power Zoom, a power hour, meaning you just come on and ignore everybody and work, basically. I'm just kidding. You can talk to people, but we essentially want to be working. Okay. So the purpose of today's meeting, obviously, Jackie's going to teach us about social media, and I'm excited to hear what she's going to share. She's an absolute boss in this industry. I'm going to talk about a couple housekeeping items and just about like the most important thing here is that we're connecting with people and we're not walking around like advertising billboards because they took this off the shelf because it was sitting there not doing anything. And so if you guys are posting on social media or you're talking to your friends and you're just like, Lactigo is so great. No one cares. No, like people don't. They care about what's in it for me. How is this going to help me? So when you guys are sharing on your social media, you got to share the stories. That's the only thing that people really care about. If you're just slapping up pictures of gel, it's not going to get you anywhere. I'm just FYI. Okay. So this business is growing when you guys are growing relationships, and it's really important that you're dropping seeds all the time and that you're consistent in building those relationships and you're consistent in sharing on social media and offline. Barry has told us that the most successful teams in the company right now are the ones that are doing the belly to belly face to face home parties and like squish parties. I know Jessica had a squish party once. Bring people over to your house, squish gel on them, share what it's doing. And, but that being said, social media can be a very, very powerful tool for you because some of my biggest leaders came from posts that I did on social media. And those posts were me sharing my story about, hey, I just used this gel and I was able to go for a run again for the first time in 10 years. That got me like 3 people, that one post. So it's about, sharing your stories. Okay, so for the housekeeping stuff, all of you guys should be in the team abundance boards. If you're not, please reach out to your upline and get in there. I put a lot of work into that boards, and there's a lot of really good tools in there. And if there's anything in there you feel like you want to contribute that you think would be helpful, that you think I should change, like the other day I found something for Dervita in there. If you find that stuff, let me know and I'll clean it out. But there's an onboarding checklist, so you know what to do with your new person. I just got signed up my new person. What do I do with them? Like all the things are in there. So it's a very helpful resource for that kind of stuff. There's some goal setting sheets in there that you can work through with questions with your people because it's very important that when you sign somebody up, you want to get them started right. We don't want to just sign people up and like send them on their merry way. You got to make sure they're connected. You got to follow up with them. And now it's very important that with this compensation plan that we're signing people up and we're getting them plugged in. When's the meetings? When's this? Now, that being said, when you bring somebody on, you need to communicate with them. Do they want to go slow? Do they want to go fast? Do they want to build a big business out of this, or do they want to sign up their grandma and grandpa and be left alone? Like you gotta figure that out. If you're pushing people past where they're comfortable, you're gonna push them away. So it's up to you to identify what are their goals here, what do they want. I signed up my 75-year-old mother. Does she want to be in the chats? No. Does she want to be on the meetings? No, clearly not, right? Neither does my 70-year-old aunt, right? But they want to share the gel with their friends. So you need to identify where people are at. We have a come as you are comp plan. So find out where they are. And but those who want to run, you gotta make sure that they're plugged in, they know when the meetings are, they have access to the boards, and that they get a subscription set up. So yes, we are not required to get a subscription, but if you're an affiliate building this program and you don't have a subscription, you're not using your own stuff, you're not shopping in your own store, what are you doing? You know what I mean? We need to have a subscription and we need to duplicate that within our teams at 2 bottles minimum. Okay. Now, if you really, really, really can't afford to, get one. Okay, fine. But ideally, two bottles and then duplicate that with your team. And when somebody new joins, they just get a subscription and they should get a pack. If they can't afford a pack, it's not the end of the world, but let's at least get them a pack. And personally, I think the smaller one can be beneficial for someone because of all the little samplies. Oh, I shouldn't say samples. Go packs, sorry. And make sure that they're putting their names and their QR codes on there. You can teach them how to do that. Okay. And then make sure that they're getting gel on people. We want to get gel on people. We want them to experience it. Now, if you guys were on the Super Saturday this weekend, I think it was Clinton, but I don't remember who it was. Somebody said that he was taking bottles of his own stuff. So look, mine has my name on it, and giving it to a friend and saying, here, I want you to use this for 3 to 4 days. I want you to put it on twice a day and give it back to me and give me your story. I think that's genius, actually. I want to buy a whole bunch and put my name on it and give it to friends and just say, hey, I'm going to give this to you for a week. I would give someone a week personally. I'm going to give it to you for a week. You're going to use it in your gymnastics or whatever the heck you're doing, and I want you to give it back. I'm just thinking about like all of my friends that have kids in sports. If I literally give them a bottle and say, I'm going to gift this to you for a week and I just want your story, I think people would be open to that. I don't know, but I thought that was I thought that was brilliant. So you want to get it on, and then when you do get somebody plugged in and all the things, make sure that you do a three-way call with someone else on the team so that that new person gets that third-party validation of like, okay, this is a team thing. Here's another person. Because if you're the one that's doing all the work, they just need that third-party validation. That's really important. Okay, moving on. Okay. And one thing that we learned today, for those of you who are in my chat, Laura Lee, she's not on this call, but she messaged corporate, and we found out that if you have shipping credits that you've earned from purchasing stuff, you can gift those to other people. So that little shipping credit, if you want to give it to someone new to try it for the first time and give them the credit, I would suggest doing that. Just make sure you keep track of the shipping credits that you gave away because it can only be used once. Okay. I think that's pretty cool. Okay. So for social media, I'm going to let Jackie do most of that, but I just will say a couple things. Someone told me last week that you want to treat social media like your living room. So if you had a bunch of people in your living room, you wouldn't be like, look at this gel. It's so great. It's got carnosine. Does the person on your couch care? No, they don't know what carnosine is, and they really don't care. But if you said, hey, man, I used this stuff last week on my arthritis and it took the pain away in 15 minutes, even though we're not supposed to say that, that is a completely different experience than just like, this stuff's so awesome, right? So just when you're sharing stuff on social media, it's the stories that matter. That's why I share testimonials all the time, Testimonial Tuesday, how it's making me feel, how it's making other people. And yeah, we all love the science. For those of you on here who love the science, we love the science, but the average person doesn't really care. Nobody cares how polysporin works. Do you care how polysporin works? You just put it on and you know that it works, right? I don't care. I just want to know that it works. So you have to make sure people don't care how this works. Most people don't. They just want to know what it does. So just keep that in mind. We don't need to woo and wah people over with science, even though I'm going to do a bunch of videos on carnosine and teach people. But just make sure it's about like people only care about what's in it for them. So that you're doing that and you're not sharing it like a billboard, because just sharing pictures of it isn't going to get you where you want to go. Okay. Social media is very powerful because you can reach people that you would normally never reach. Now, I've been posting consistently on social media for 14 months. And now I have random people reaching out to me and be like, hey, I want to try that gel stuff. And I didn't even talk to these people. So they're getting it from somewhere. And that's from the consistency, which I'm sure Jackie will talk about when she gets talking here. Okay. So I want to just veer off from social for a little bit and just talk about like when you guys are doing coffee dates with people, you have them over for dinner, game night, whatever. When you're talking to people, we want to be connecting with them and doing more listening than talking, which I know is really hard. And I struggle with that because I could talk about this all day long and I'm so passionate about it and I love it. But like, if you're talking at people too much, they're just like, ah. So we want to make sure we're listening to, what's going on in their life and asking them the questions like, what are they struggling with? What goals do they have? What's going on? Like I reached out to somebody not too long ago and asked him how he was feeling with work because he does a lot of hard physical work. And then he's like, oh, I take all these vitamins because my back hurts. Well, there was my in to talk about my thing, right? So listening to people, and in the team abundance board, there is a training in the personal development folder, the Dervita audio library by Big Al Schreider. Now, have you guys ever heard of Big Al before? He's a, well, I guess he'd be a dinosaur now, but like he's a huge trainer in the network marketing industry, and his trainings are hilarious. Okay. And he has one, yeah, he's so great. He's got a training called the Four Color Personalities. And I'm going to go over the Cole's notes on that, but I would highly suggest you guys listen to it next time you take your dog for a walk, have a shower, sweep your floor, make dinner, whatever. It's absolutely hilarious. Okay. But the big thing about the Four Color Personalities is learning to identify what people actually care about. So when everyone has different things, different goals in their life and things that make them tick and why they join the business. Some people join the business. Some people join the business because they just want to help people. They literally just want to get gel on people and help them. Other people join because they want to make a ton of money. Money, 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 money. They want more money. They want recognition. They just like, oh, they're so excited about being a part of something new that's going to be $1 billion brand. Those people are motivated by totally different things. And if you're sitting across a coffee table talking to someone about how much, oh, you can make so much money and it's so great, you can travel around the world, it's so awesome, and you can be on stage and blah, 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 and they could care less about that stuff and they just want to help people, you are not talking the same language. Like they're not gonna jive with what you're saying at all. So you need to identify the people that you're talking to, what makes them tick and what is their personality. Now, there are core four color personalities. There's four main ones. Everyone's a little bit of each, clearly. But I will just kind of go over them. Yeah, so not everyone joins for the same reasons. Not everyone buys for the same reason. And if you're speaking the wrong language to somebody, you will lose them completely. They will not care about what you're talking about. So, yellow personality are the people that want to help. These guys are really easy to identify because they're just like, oh, I think this could help my cousin, and I think it could help my blah blah blah. And like they just want to help people. They want to know how the gel is gonna, they care about the community, they care about the kindness, they care about being a part of the team. If you have people on your team that just want to be they come to all the meetings and they come to the events and they're not really selling very much, but they just want to be there. These are typically yellow people. They just want to be a part of something special and they want to help others. And if they can help 5 people with the gel in 10 years, they're happy. They're good. They helped somebody. They are not driven by money, 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 money. Okay. Now the red people, they're the ones that want the money. They want the power. Now, when I say power, I don't mean that in a mean way, but they're generally very strong leaders. They're the ones that'll get to the top of the comp plan the fastest. They're the ones that are leading the meetings and on stage usually first, but they're very driven by the money, driven by recognition. They want to be in charge. Red ones are usually pretty easy to identify. They have big goals when it comes to the money. So when you're talking about the gel, you can talk about the fact that, it's going to be $1 billion brand and we're right at the beginning. It's an amazing rainbow. Yeah. Okay. The next color is the blue one. The blue personality is there to have fun. They want it. They're all about the travel and the events and the trips and meeting people and socializing and the party fun. Woo! And they love talking to people and they just love talking to people. And yeah, I'm a blue. I'm a blue through and through. I'm a blue yellow, but mostly blue. I'm all about the events and the party and the fun, and I'm meeting people and I have this community of people that they're all my friends and I have more friends now. And like, that's blues. Blues love to talk and they talk and they talk and they do more talking and not enough listening. It's true. So if you meet somebody who's like super social and they have a huge network and they just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, they're probably a blue. Okay, rude. Sorry. Well, wait till you hear Big Al describe it. He's like way more in the weeds than I am. I'm being very lightly on that. Okay. So a green person is someone who is very analytical. We're talking your engineers, your lawyers, that they have to know all the facts. They will not join until they know they want to see the patent. and they want to see all the science and they want to see all the scientific research and they want to see all the Zooms. Like if you have someone that's like, I need to see this and this and this and this and this, they're a green. The greens need to analyze all of the statistics and everything that they can possibly imagine to make the right decision for themselves. Okay, so those ones are pretty easy to pick out. They have to make sure that joining or sharing this makes logical sense for them. And if you don't give them enough information, it won't. So I would listen to the training. It's hilarious. But when you start picking up on the different colors of people, when you take your friend out for coffee, you have your friends over for dinner, if you know they're motivated by money, talk about the money. Don't talk about coming to events and, making friends. They don't care. You know what I mean? So you kind of want to find out what it is. Now, a lot of people are yellow in our industry with Lactigo because we want to help people, clearly. You know, anyway, okay. So when you know someone's color, you know how to talk to them, you know what matters to them, and you can connect with them in the right way for this business. So it's a really, really great training to do that. Okay. So I'm going to introduce Jacki. Now, Jacki is a very pretty one in my left corner. I don't know where she is for you guys. But she's been in the industry for 10 years. And Jacki started out with 117 friends on her Facebook. Now she has over 110,000. In fact, I don't think I've seen anybody with more Facebook friends than she has. Like, I think Chastity has 13,000. She has 110. Okay, so this lady knows how to build social media, which is why I asked her to talk about it. She was with Unique for a long time, and she built Unique with online parties and making connections, and she was one of the top Canadian leaders in that company. And then she left, and she went over to Reman, and within 5 months, she was one of their top leaders. So she is a boss in this area. So I'm very excited to learn from her. Within Lactigo, she joined our team, I think before Dervita blew up. So I'm going to say April or May or something, something like that.
Yeah, I think end of May.
End of May. Okay. Right
Yeah.
before everything went to hell in a handbasket. Okay.
We got about 5 minutes of that chaos.
Uh, so anyways, but since then, she's built a massive team and, she's built a massive team and I think she's going to be one of the first tier fives out of the gate on this whole team. So, very excited to learn from her. And off you go, Jacki.
Okay, well, thank you. I actually wanted to touch on the color
Yeah.
personality super quick too. A way to identify, I'm totally going to go into social media, but I love this topic because it's so interesting to me. But ask people questions. Like ask questions and listen. Just like when people were coming to my booth, there cat. When they were coming to my booth this weekend, it was like they'd come up and they're like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Well, what made you stop? What caught your attention? Was it the word magnesium? Was it the fact that you read this testimonial? What was it?" And you can kind of pick up what kind of personality they are when they see or when you ask questions and just ask the questions and listen. Simple questions. You want to dig information out of them, right? You don't want to talk at them. So I just wanted to touch on that super quick. And thank you, Lee, and thank you, Sasha. I feel the best that I have felt in 2 years. So it feels really good. For those of you that don't know, I've been on a bit of a health journey and my health has been not great. And I've been on the better half of it for the last few weeks here. So thank you for noticing. I appreciate it. So I'm going to talk about social media and momentum and growing your social media, what's kind of important, what's not. I just want to start with the topic of mindset. Also, if you see me looking left, it's because my notes are there and I'm definitely a notes person. I will get off topic and end up in Nearlandia. Nearlandia? No, Narnia. Nearlandia is a place in Alberta. I'll end up in Narnia if I don't focus. So mindset. So a lot of times people are so like, don't focus on the following count. Don't focus on the sales. Don't focus on the customers. Focus on connection. It is so important to have connection because it builds trust, right? You are not going to purchase from a complete stranger who's made a post about this product. If you haven't gotten to know them or followed their journey or you know nothing about them, chances are you are not going to buy a $100 product, $50 product, even a $10 product from these people. You don't know who they are. So mindset going into this should always be connecting and helping people. Your mind should always be on how can I help this person? Who is this person? How can I connect to them and what's going on for them? So when I'm speaking to them, I speak to them personally, right? And I'm always, we're going to go over this, I think, somewhere in here, but I am always commenting on people's posts. If I see something that resonates in any way, shape, or form, I am commenting on their posts. Okay. So that I'm showing up in their social media. I'm showing up present in their life. They are starting to connect with me and I'm starting to connect with them. You cannot expect people to comment on your stuff or connect with you if you are not initiating any kind of relationship either, okay? So, mindset on that, just you're not here to sell. You're here to connect. It's up to them to purchase. And when they're following your journey, they're going to end up purchasing eventually when you're keeping it about connection. Okay. So, I'm going to speak about consistency and connection for a little while. So, just know that if you show up as a hobbyist, you're going to be paid as a hobbyist. Okay. That's the sentence that stuck with me for a long time. And it makes complete sense. If you're showing up on Monday and Sunday or Monday and Thursday, you're going to be paid like you're only showing up Monday and Thursday. You don't go to a Walmart and see that they're only open on Monday and Wednesday, and it's super frustrating because you've been trying to shop all week and they're just not open. They're only open for 2 hours, and then they went and had a nap. And, if you're not open, at regular hours, I'm not saying work 24/7, but I'm saying be consistent, be open, have your storefront open at normal people hours, right? So if you show up as a hobbyist, you're going to be paid as a hobbyist. If you show up as a business owner with the grit, with the excitement, and you are pushing past the hard shit, sorry to swear, but if you're able to get past that, that's when you build to the big business dollars. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Do not post and pray. This is such a popular thing. We make a post and we hope for the best. We hope people are going to just flood our inbox and it's going to be amazing. We're going to make all these sales and then we get discouraged when it doesn't happen. You typically, if you think about it, when you see people's posts, you're not running to their messenger to be like, "Oh my God, tell me everything." Like it's just not how we work. It's not how things go. So we can't expect other people to do that. Does it happen from time to time? Yes. Is it the norm? No. Okay. So do not post and pray. Reach out to people, connect to people. Thank you so much for commenting on my post. I saw that you're struggling with XYZ. This is what my husband's been using it for. This is what I've been using it for. Just so you know, we used it specifically for what you're struggling for if you'd like to try, right? Just connect with those people who are liking and commenting. Don't just expect them to come to you and be like, "I'm ready to buy." Okay? Super important. Commenting regularly. Now, I know I touched on that, but this is so important to be boosting into the algorithm. So not just commenting on regular posts, but stories. Stories are so important. And the reason for this is when you message somebody, so when you're messaging someone on their stories, it goes directly to their messenger. When you connect with Messenger, it pushes your stuff and their stuff into each other's algorithms. So if you ever notice when you're talking to someone, say I messaged Jerusha to ask her a question. The next day or even a few hours later, her most current post is going to pop up in my newsfeed because I was talking to her and Facebook's like, "Oh, you're connected to this person. You're interested in them. Let me show you what they're up to." There is too many people and too many things going on in the Facebook world for you to see everything. So if you're not connecting with people, you're not going to see their stuff and vice versa. So me and Jerusha chatting, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and she's been in my stories ever since. I see her all the time and I'm always hearting her stuff. Yes, and it's just going to happen because you're connecting and Facebook's, "Oh, you're actually interested in this person and what they're doing." And vice versa, your stuff is going to start to pop up in her page. I'm sure, Jerusha, you see my stuff in your feed because we've chatted in Messenger. So make sure that you are messaging people, commenting on stories, and commenting on posts regularly, not just Monday and Thursday, every single day. You're sitting on the toilet, don't be watching YouTube. Don't be watching TikTok. Literally go comment on people's posts. Okay? I know you all do it. I do it too. So, another thing is, oh, what was I going to touch on? Oh, but not birthday parties, birthday notifications. So they pop up in your Facebook every day. And if they don't, you can literally go to the search bar and look up today's birthdays or birthdays today. And it's going to show you everyone who has a birthday that day. This is where it's really important to get personal. Okay? So I had a person for this exact reason join my unique business and she went crazy so fast. And it was because of this one thing that I did. Okay. And she talks about it all the time when we have conversations about it. Send a voice message for birthdays, a personalized voice message. I'm telling you, voice messages in Messenger sell and convert sales. I would probably say about 90% more than text. And you'll probably see in all of the chats that I'm in, I'm like on the voice recorder all the time. Send your happy birthdays. "Hey Kat, I saw it was your birthday today. Hope you have an amazing day. I was just thinking of you and I hope you're spoiled today." Sing them happy birthday. I think it was Kyle who sang me happy birthday. I messaged this girl, Krista, on her birthday and I wished her happy birthday. And she said, "You are the only person who sent me a personal message for my birthday." That is huge for a lot of people. That is human connection. You're thinking of them, you're talking to them. You're not just sending a copy and paste message. You're using their name, which is one of the most important things that you can do when you're speaking to somebody. Okay. So send voice messages. That's another thing that I want to talk about because voice messages convert way more sales. People can hear who you are. They can hear that you're not trying to scam them. They can understand and hear your mannerisms, that you have good intention behind what you're saying. And you going blah, 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 blah on a text message gets lost way more than a 30-minute voice clip. Okay. They can hear it in your voice how excited you are, how much you want them to try this, and how much you believe in the product versus a copy and paste text where they're like, you have zero clue how they're going to receive that. One person might receive it one way and another receives it another. When you're doing a voice clip, it's just one way. It's just, you can hear your voice, you can hear the excitement, you can hear that you're trying to do something for them and it's not about you. Okay. Voice clips is probably the biggest tip that I can give you today. Okay. So if you're scared to do them, start practicing in the team chats, start practicing on people who are on your team. Just message them in the morning and see how they're doing. Send normal people that you're comfortable with happy birthday messages. Okay. But get comfortable with it. You have to get comfortable getting uncomfortable. If you are struggling to grow your social media, and you're not willing to get outside of your comfort zone, you're going to stay there. Okay. So you have to be willing to push past that. Okay. And I promise you, it gets so easy. I remember when voice clips were terrifying for me, and now it is second nature. Like texting actually is a chore for me. I'm like, oh my God, I have to type this out. Like, so you'll get used to it, I promise. Okay, a tip for your stories. So if you're not posting in stories, excuse me, if you're not posting in stories, it's something that I highly recommend because it's a totally different view demographic. You have completely different people looking at stories than you do on your personal page. There's two types of people, and there's the people who scroll the feed, and there's the people who scroll stories and they hop off of Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is, okay? Typically two type of people. If you ask this question, most people do one or the other, not both, okay? So when you're doing your stories, always, okay, write this down. Always post 3 to 4 max. Unless you're on a vacation or doing something where people are really paying attention to you, your regular everyday life, 3 to 4 stories max. Okay? You're going to post them all at the same time. Okay? You're not going to post one in the morning, one in the afternoon, two before bed, all at the same time. All right before you go to bed, all right when you wake up, whatever it is, pick your time and you're going to post them at the same time. Now, when those are about to run out, you actually want to let them completely run out before you reset. If you go and add your next 4 before those have run out, you lose a massive amount of views. You will notice your views go up dramatically if you let them fall off and expire first. So let that 24-hour window fall and then go half an hour later, 20 minutes later. So say 6 o'clock p.m., like 6 p.m. is your time that you're doing this. The next day, make it 6:10. You're going to wait for them to expire. 6:10, you're going to post your next 3 or 4 for the following day. Little bit of lifestyle, little bit of business. Try not to do all the same. If you have to, some days you do. When you're talking about it and you're sharing testimonials, sometimes it just happens. But for the most part, a little bit of lifestyle, a little bit of business. I want all of you to try this and tell me how your views go up because I promise you it will. I one day went from like 150 views to like 8,000 views. Like it was insane. Massive percentage in difference in who will see. It gets pushed out when it's fresh. If you continue it, it gets lost, okay? And it becomes dead, especially if there's no interaction. Okay, adding people regularly. Now, a lot of people got out of this practice. This was something that we always focused on hugely when we were building in other network marketing companies. And I don't know why we stopped. I don't know what it is, but it is something that is so crucial. And getting new eyes on you every single day, every single week is so important. You cannot expect your main amount of people that you have there to buy product from you every time you're talking about it. You have to have new eyes, fresh people on you so that you're not burning out your regular social media people. They're cycling at this point. Rather than the same people, they can't support you every single month. They can't support you every single promo, right? So you need new people for those new interactions. So you need to be adding new people to your social media. Okay, and social media is the easiest place to do this. You can't just walk, well, you can, but most people won't just walk into a coffee shop and be like, oh my God, hi, nice to meet you. How are you? Can I add you on social media? Can we be friends? We don't do that. But on social media, you can go into any group for any interest and ask a question. And you're going to get 542 comments on there. And boom, you can potentially make 524 or 42, whatever I said, friends that day, right? Even if you get 3 people commenting, that is you're in for a new connection. If you're into gardening and you go in and say, what's your biggest piece of advice for a brand new gardener. You are going to have those gardener enthusiasts messaging all the best tips, and I promise they'll be so good. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I never thought of that. You are going to comment back to every single person who has interacted with you, who took time out of their day to answer your question. You are now interacting and becoming like beginning a connection with these people, right? And then once you've had a little bit of a conversation in your comments, oh my God, thank you. I never would have thought of that. I don't even know if we have that around here, blah, blah, blah. You've made a connection. You can now add them as a friend. It's not just a weird random friend request. It's like, oh, this person actually wants to be my friend. We have similar interests. Okay? Then you're going to obviously foster that friendship, right? You guys are both interested in gardening. Why wouldn't you foster that friendship even outside of ever having the intention of selling them something or giving them some kind of value? You're still going to make that connection and have that friend. So it's great. Okay, I'm trying to talk really fast because I have a couple more things I want to speak on, and I want to make sure we get them all without keeping you here to the point where your eyes are closing. So, authenticity. I know that Chastity, I think today, spoke on this, and it's so important. Like, I need you to so very deeply hear me when I say this. People know when you're being yourself or if you're being someone else. People know when you're talking like yourself or if you are talking like somebody else. If you're copying and pasting, people know. Like when you read someone's post, you're like, that was weird, or that seemed odd, or that was out of character. You know, and I promise you, your viewers also know. So just be you. I would rather you show up you as a messy, not knowing what you're doing person than someone who has it all together and is copying and pasting like a robot. Okay? So quit pretending to be something you're not. If you are following someone and you are inspired by them, I love that. Please be inspired by them. Get up and do those things the way that you would do them. But copying and pasting is not the way to get there. Share your story, and you can share your story in 57 different ways. Your one individual story can be shared repeatedly. Every single one of you here has an experience for why you're here. And if you haven't shared that at least 5 times since joining, you're doing your people a disservice. Okay? Share your story over and over and over and over again because I promise you, the people who saw it the first time didn't see it the second time. And the people who didn't see it the first time might see it the second time, might see it the third time. Okay? I'm not saying go and copy and paste your same post. I'm saying when you're thinking about it, rewrite your story and post it. What are your testimonials? What are your experiences? Who have you shared this with that also had experiences? What are your struggles? What are your hobbies? Who are you? What is your reality? That's what people want to see. And I have built my community off of being real. And I promise you, when I wasn't being real, no, the growth was not there. So when I started to really come out of my shell and show, the struggles that I was having and how my life was falling apart and all these things, that's when people really started to connect with me. And they're like, oh my God, she's a real human being, So just share who you are, what's going on for you. I'm not saying, be negative and like bring down the energy. I'm just saying, like, if you spill your coffee and you cried about it this morning, so did 17 other people just last week, right? So we don't have to pretend to be perfect and just share that. Be like, my gosh, you ever had days like this where you're just like, you thought it was going to go so smooth and then you spilt your coffee that you just finished making and it took you 25 minutes. You don't have time to make a new one. People are going to relate, okay? So, anyways, be you, be authentic, and be inspired by people. Don't copy people, okay? That's a big one. Now, take your notebook out again. Not again, take out your pen. Be ready for more notes. There are 6 types of posts that I'm going to share that drive connection, community, and trust with your following. Okay? So I'm going to go over the 6 type of posts, and then at the end, you guys are going to pick what kind of post that you want to create tonight. We're going to do it tonight, and I want you guys to share screenshots in your group chats. Okay? Now, 6 types of posts. We got lifestyle posts, we got product posts, we got opportunity posts, live videos or reels, inspirational and motivational, and interaction. And I'm going to go over every single one of those with you right now and what they are. Okay, lifestyle post. That's kind of what we just talked about. So lifestyle post is literally sharing your lifestyle. So you know how I was talking about gardening? I'm not into gardening. In fact, I hate gardening. I'm the worst gardener there is. I murder all plants. And actually, it makes me want to cry at night because it's so bad. Like, it's actually so bad. But say I loved gardening, okay? I would want my people to know that I love gardening. So there's probably 6 of you on here who love gardening, and we would never know it from seeing your Facebook profile. Yeah, Mike's there. Mike's probably never posted about a plant before in his life, right? You just don't think about it, but people are interested. And people are going to be like, "Ooh, a man who's doing gardening? Like, tell me." Like, it's interesting. It's like, what are you into? What are your favorite plants? And I promise you, the plant world is crazy, just like the pet industry, crazy. Like every industry or hobby has its people, I promise you. So when people start to know that you like gardening, they start to follow you a little more. They're a little more interested in what you're doing, right? And your people come out of the woodwork. Okay, the people that you genuinely connect with on a soul level, they come out because they're like, oh my God, I didn't know you liked gardening. They're paying more attention, and then you're starting to see them. You're starting to make connections with them. If you like wine, talk about wine. Are you clumsy? Let people know you're clumsy. People are going to get to know who you are as a person, right? And they can relate to that. And then they build a little bit of trust. They know you're a human being. Okay, they build that connection without you even ever knowing it. Some people won't even ever comment, but they will relate so hard. And one day, all of a sudden, they sign up. They're your biggest, they're your biggest seller because they fully trust you. They know that what you're doing and how you're helping people is in their best interest. Okay. So build that connection. Lifestyle post. Share your life. It's not boring. I promise you. If you like flaming hot Cheetos, share that you love flaming hot Cheetos. There are people who love them and people who hate them. Okay. Try to keep it up, with as much laughter and positivity as possible, but I like to be really real with my people, which you will have seen on my posts that you have seen my health journey because I'm not going to sit here and pretend life is rainbows and butterflies when I can't even lift my head off a pillow, you know? So just be real with your people. Okay, next one, product post. So this should be at least one product post. It doesn't really matter. It can be a testimonial. It can be about what the gel does. It can be, what your experience was, why you joined, literally anything. But get a product post up, okay? What has it done for you? What can it do for them? Share the product, okay? You can't expect people to purchase from you when they don't even know what this product does. Right? Like they're when you're not sharing, those testimonials, especially your own personal testimony. There are some people on here that have the most insane testimonials and they haven't even shared them. They've shared them with me personally, or I've read them in chats or whatever, and they haven't even shared them on social media yet. Those are the most powerful testimonials. Just share your testimonials, okay? And your experiences. Okay, opportunity. Opportunity is anything that is going to drive someone to be interested in the business. This can be the opportunity calls, getting people on the opportunity calls, right? Talking about it. This can be talking about your confidence that you have gained since joining. This can be talking about the growth, the community, the paycheck. I mean, everybody gets tickled a little different way. So you want to hit all the different things. So just like talking on the color personalities, different things attract different people. So if you're talking about the money side of it all the time, you're going to attract a little bit more of the red personalities, and your team is going to be a little harsh. I'm going to be really real with you. It's going to be intense. You want a mix of all the people so you can complement each other. You can learn from each other, and everybody's got support from each other. So when you're sharing about the opportunity, share what all of the people might be interested in. There's a little bit of science over here. There's a little bit of incentives over here. There's just different things for different people. But there's things like, would you like to be debt free by Christmas? Would you like to what would an extra $200 a month do for you and your family? Those are opportunity posts. That drives interest and it's seeing kind of where people are at. $200 for people in 1 month right now is massive. You don't have to be attracting these huge leaders that everybody's always talking about that's going to bring their whole industry here. That's really not the bread and butter of this business. It is those people who are making the extra $200 a month that is changing their lives, or they're able to go and do something for themselves guilt-free. So share the opportunity, okay? So opportunity posts. Live videos and reels. This is actually how I grew my business so fast. And to that 110,000 following, it was through being consistent creating reels. And now I was building this through the beauty industry. So I was doing makeup and skincare tips at the time when I was really focused on building. But I showed up every day. I was doing lifestyle posts. I was doing funny posts. I was doing makeup posts. I was doing makeup challenges. I was doing skincare information. I was doing anything that would drive interaction or someone to be interested in what I was doing. You can share about carnosine. You can share about magnesium. You can share about the delivery system. You can share about our team ethics, like how insane leadership here. It's crazy what the kind of talent we have here, and people are attracted to those kinds of things. So share different videos and reels. They don't need to be hour-long lives. You can go live for 5 minutes and talk about your experience. What was your testimonial? You get on a live video and share your testimonial over a post. I promise you, you're going to have people in your messenger way more than a post. Lives and reels are game changing for your business. Okay. So again, it's one of those things where you just have to push past the fear. Who cares what you look like? Who cares what you sound like? You're going to help people. You're going to get better at it. Your reels are going to go from awkward and quiet and hazy backgrounds to clear and motivating and excited to you're going to be so much more confident 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 months from now. Just start. Just create a reel. Okay. So literally I gained in 6 months, I went from 3,000 followers to 115,000 followers. Yeah. So, and that was by being consistent with reels. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen for everybody. And I'm not saying that really that's not necessarily what you want. Because honestly, it was not, I didn't love how fast it expanded. It was kind of crazy. However, if you're putting out videos regularly and you're even getting 3 new sets of eyes on you a week, that's massive. Where else can you go do that? You're not going to Starbucks to meet people every day, right? So what other industry can we do that? We can't. So social media, use live videos and reels. Again, people can get to see your mannerisms and hear your voice and understand who you are as a person. It's the closest thing to meeting someone in person. Okay? Next is inspirational and motivational. So this can be quotes, this can be, experiences that you have, this can be sharing, people hitting promotions in your team. This can be anything where it might drive inspiration or motivation. This also can be considered an opportunity post, right? When you're sharing your team's success, people are like, oh, like what's going on over there, right? Like positivity breeds positivity. So I promise you, most people in life are looking for more positivity, more excitement, more in life, right? So when you're sharing that inspiration, you're sharing that motivation, you're sharing that excitement, people want that. And people are going to start asking questions, especially if you're consistent. Don't just post an inspirational post once a month. Do it regularly so people get to know the type of person you are and what motivates you. Okay? Last one being interaction posts. So this is really important for keeping your algorithm high. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically for keeping views high on your posts. It's super important because if people are not interacting on your posts, Facebook will say, well, this person's not really making people interested. We're going to show other people that they're more interested in, or other accounts like pages and things like that. So you want people commenting and liking. The more comments and likes you get, the more that the Facebook world, the algorithm says, okay, this person's super interesting. Other people might want to see what this person's up to, and they pop your stuff into their feed. So the faster you can get people commenting and hearting, liking any of your posts, the better. Okay, so one of these a day is actually highly recommended. Okay, so I'm not saying like if you're not on social media a lot, maybe don't all of a sudden be doing it every day. Pop them in there once or twice a week to start and slowly build your way up into the social media world. But for people who are showing up every day already, start trickling in interaction posts. So this is something that you're asking a question, you're asking this or that. Like sometimes I'll put on like an outfit or two outfits. Sorry, I'll take two pictures and I'll be like, I'm going out for a dinner with so and so. Which outfit would you pick? Listen, I promise you I've already picked the outfit, but the internet doesn't know that, right? The internet does not know that. And they get excited about it. They're like, oh my gosh. Or like when I was painting my house, when I tell you I asked for so many opinions on my flooring and my paint color. And again, I went with nothing that anybody recommended. I chose what I wanted at the end of the day. But it gets them excited. It feels like they're involved, right? They get to know who you are. They're seeing what you're interested in and what they might choose. And it just kind of drives that interaction. So the more you can get people to comment and like your posts, the more your stuff is going to bump into their feed and the more their stuff is going to bump into yours so that you can connect with them more. Okay. So those are the 6 posts. Last thing that I want to leave you guys on, honestly, choose right now in this moment what post you're going to make tonight because we can take in so much information and be so inspired and then do nothing with it. That is such a normal thing because there's so much information in today's world. We literally don't even know where to start. And we know we learned great things, but now what? So what I want you to do is pick what you're going to post tonight Okay. And even better, pick what you're going to post tomorrow. You don't want to go and post all six of these things in a day. You want to maybe post 2 to 4 of them max per day. Okay. Max. Do not post 6 times a day. Please, for the love of God, your people are going to be like, what is going on? And it's going to lower your algorithm. But pick a couple of these things, even make a schedule for the week if that's the type of person you are, and that's going to help you stay consistent with it. Just do interaction and inspiration tomorrow. We're going to do product post and a reel the next day, whatever that looks like for you. But tonight, right now, I want you in the chat box down here right now. Tell me what you're going to do tonight, the second we get off this call. You're going to take 5 minutes to create your post. So there's 17 people in here. So myself included. What will I do? What have I done today? I do all of these regularly, so I'm just gonna go check my feed to see what I'm kind of missing. You can also do that if you go to your Facebook page and you're like, oh, I actually haven't talked about, the opportunity in like 3 weeks. It's probably time to make an opportunity post. Okay. So actually, I think that's what I will do. That's actually probably something I haven't done in a hot minute is the opportunity. I'm gonna do an opportunity post tonight before I go to bed. Okay. So Mike said he's gonna do lifestyle post. Are we gonna hear about your gardening? Yes. Yes, Queen. Love it. Okay. Um, Okay, I'm just gonna scroll up to see if I miss anything. Uh, Magical Jackie, you are back. Lee, thank you. Thank you for noticing. Do you follow up with people that just look but don't comment? Depends. So gauge that. If it's something where, you shared your experience, you shared your testimony on someone hearted it. That's probably someone that I would reach out to and be like, hey, I saw you hearted my comment. Have you ever dealt with neck pain? Because I have a neck injury. And if it was like my own experience, that's right. But if it's like a post about my dog, I probably won't always connect with them. Sometimes maybe if I know they have the same type of dog, but if not, like that's the type of post that I would leave. So just kind of play it by ear, okay? We sing happy birthday to them. Yes, Mike, love that. Wish I knew that a year ago. Yes, Kat, a lot of people, well, you're talking about stories, I think. A lot of people don't realize that. And Instagram, as many as you can possibly post, they love that. Facebook, no, 3 to 4. Or if you're using pure chat GPT, that's another thing. Yes, you're going to kill your algorithm so fast and your authenticity so fast with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is there to inspire you. It is not there to do the work for you. So I love ChatGPT. When I tell you that that thing is my therapist, my best friend, my doctor, it's my dentist at this point. Like it's everything. But I'm inspired by it. It's not a copy and paste, okay? This has been very positive because it's something I need to put at the top of my list for socials. So, I mean, Kyle, you're not lacking anything when it comes to consistency. So, I mean, if you're doing great in person and you have no reason to be focusing on socials, don't worry about it. But if this is something that you genuinely want to grow and it makes sense for you, and you maybe don't thrive in the belly to belly industry, this is where this is going to come into play. But Kyle, if it's something that you want to work on, absolutely. Unfollowed or defriended a few that only post long story personal posts, and when I comment, there's absolutely never any reply. I just want some kind of conversation being short and interactive. I got tired of them being about them always. You know what, Cindy, this is important too. I take the time. I may not comment or message you that day. Sometimes my posts get up to 100 comments. I cannot be having 100 conversations at all times, right? So sometimes it takes me a day or two to get back to everybody, but I will comment and respond to almost every single comment. At some point, I will get back to you. That is so important. I'm really glad that you brought that up. If someone is taking the time to comment on your post, take the time to connect with them. Okay? That's huge, Cindy. Thank you for sharing that. Great, Sasha. I'm so glad. Okay, Mike said that he's going to do lifestyle. Lee's going to do opportunity. Posted a testimonial already, so I'm going to do something inspirational. Kat's doing inspiration. Made 2 lives already tonight. Heck yeah, you did. Get close to a white deer, like 2 to 3 feet away. I maxed out on post for today. That's okay. You know what? If you've done that, start with tomorrow morning. What is something out of here that you haven't done recently? And go ahead and post that tomorrow morning. I'm gonna do a work post. We just finished the job today. Beautiful. That's lifestyle. What do you do? Your construction, is that the right word? You renovate? You build things. But Jackie, what is it that you do? That is something like so many people like have these jobs. My husband's been a compressor mechanic and a regular automotive mechanic for years, and people every day ask him what he does for work because he's not sharing that. And that's it's not something that he wants to do anymore, but that's people don't share about their everyday job. Why not? It's part of who you are. It's literally half your life. You're there 10 to 12 hours a day and nobody knows what you do for work, right? My step hike I did today. Oh, steep. I was like, what's a step hike? My steep hike I did today, took some pics along the way. Okay, that is a motivational, inspirational post right there, Cindy. Do you know how many people would love to be hiking, but they're scared or whatever? Give them the motivation to try for themselves. What tips can you give them, right, to take their first hike, to go do their first thing? How does it make you feel, right? What experience did you have when you got to the top? What did that do for you? That is a perfect opportunity for a motivational and inspirational post. What was post number 6? It was interaction posts. Amazing training. Awesome. So glad you feel that way, Jessica. We've got Pauline doing lifestyle. Jerusha interaction. What was 5? Oh, you were answering her. Okay. Motivational quotes, Renos. Yes, Renos. Okay. And Jenna's going to do interaction. Beautiful. Okay. And Jackie does construction, painting, drywall, flooring, and it changes all the time. Yeah. See, and I bet you if you put on your Facebook page, do you guys know what I do for work or what would you guess I did for work? I bet you nobody knows what you do for work. But yeah, I'm done. I'm sorry that took a little longer than I planned, but yeah.
Don't apologize. That was amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. Give her some love and everything. That was amazing. I wrote down, I have 3 pages of notes. And
Fantastic.
I also recorded it with my app, so I'll post the bullet notes in the boards once I post this in there for you guys. And it's funny, actually, my challenge at the end, I wrote down on my sheet, my challenge was post something on social media. That's what your homework was, and she already gave you the homework. The other homework I had was to start 3 conversations with new people that you're connecting with, and to try to identify some of your friends and family's colors and see if you can figure out what they are. And if you want more training on that, like I said, it's in the boards under personal development tab, um, audio library. Audio library. And there's like tons of amazing stuff in there. So if you guys are looking for something to do while you're walking the dog, having a shower, brushing your teeth, cleaning, washing dishes, like I call that house time university. I am listening to those things when I'm doing housework all the time. It's great. Anyway. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I'm going to stop the recording here.